Hello everyone and welcome to my bar. My name is Ansel Birch, the Indecisionist, and I will be your dungeon barkeep today. Now, I am no expert mixologist, but like anyone tending bar in a cave, I have an adventurous spirit and a willingness to try anything once. Now, I don't have a menu or a call list or recipes, but I do have a set of gaming dice and a willingness to try whatever they tell me to do at least once. So, what do you say? I will roll these dice, choose a bunch of ingredients using them, and then if the result is any good, I will let you know, and then you can try it on your own. What do you say? Sound like a plan? Fair enough. Let's go ahead and get started then. All right, so our first roll of the night is going to be a D4 to choose one of these essential mixers. And we got a 3 here, vermouth. I do love me some vermouth, and it's been a while since we had it, so that's very exciting to have on the show. So let's go ahead and keep moving with a garnish chosen by a D6. That's a 1, so a twist of lime. All right, vermouth and a twist of lime. We're going into a classy direction. Love that, very exciting. Next up, we've got a bunch of less essential mixers, so let's choose a D8 to choose between those. A 5, ginger beer. We've gone off the rails now. All right, vermouth and ginger beer feels like a tough combination, but here we are. I said I'd do it, so I'm doing it. But what liquor do we put into this growing monstrosity? Ooh, we got a 10. 10s explode, which means I'm going to roll twice now, and we're going to put 2 liquors into this cocktail. Yeah, this is going to be quite a thing. All right, so we're going to roll once for gin and once for more gin. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll a third time because I don't want to do just double gin. 2, rum. All right. Gin and rum. Yes, more gin, Jelly Gatto. All right. Gin, rum, lime twist, vermouth, ginger beer. This is going to be a hell of a thing. But what do we call... But just to prove that I have some idea of how to get myself out of this mess, let's do a quick pop quiz. I've got a list of bar terms here, and I'll roll a d12 to choose which one I'll explain, just to prove that I have some chance of surviving this. All right, that's a 6. Flame. All right. Flaming a beverage is basically exactly what it sounds like. We're going to try and build it in such a way that I can set it on fire. Today's cocktail does have a lime twist, so I could make a lime boat and flame this cocktail. So that's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting experience. We'll see how well it shows up on the camera, but I am dedicated to lime boats and fire. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and find out what we're going to call this cocktail, though, as we roll a d20 to choose a name. 3 is Roland's Ale. Well, I don't know who Roland is, but he clearly doesn't know what ale is, and we're about to teach him what it's not. So let's head over to the bar top cam and build our Roland's Ale. All right, so the first thing we need to do in building this cocktail is prep our lime. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're doing a couple things with this lime. One, I am going to opt to get some lime juice into this cocktail. We're also going to be making a twist for garnish and a lime boat for even more garnish. So we're going to need to use all the parts of this lime today. I swear I had a... Here. There it goes. Okay. And that starts with the zest. We're going to get a nice long strip of the peel. There we go. And we're going to cut off our lime boat here. I actually think I'm going to want to use more than that for the lime boat, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to load up our juicer. This is absolutely a made in the shaker cocktail. We've juiced 1/2 of our lime. Now we'll juice another 1/2 of the lime. Now, something I'm wanting to try, because I've been running into trouble with these limes not floating properly, is this smaller lime boat. So I'm going to juice this little end here. And what this is going to do is float on the top of our cocktail and hold a sugar cube. So we're going to save that for later. That's going to sit over here on the side. So now we've got the juice of 1 lime in our shaker. We don't need that. Now we're going to add in our gin. And I'm going to do 1 ounce of each just so that they don't overpower all of the mixers. So that's 1 ounce of gin, 1 ounce of rum, and our brand new bottle of vermouth. I mentioned that because I learned a little while ago that you want to keep your vermouth in the fridge once it's been opened. And I have been doing that. But this one came off of my booze rack here in the studio, so it is at room temperature. All right. So we've got gin, rum, vermouth, and lime in our cocktail shaker. Now all we need to do is add some ice to the large shaker, pour over, and shake. Thank you very much to the fan of the show who gifted me with enough to have 3 full sets of dice. I had kickstarted this project on Kickstarter and was humbled to be given yet another ice cube tray. So I do have 3 full sets of 7 of these ice dice. Very nice. Shaking time. So small tin into the big tin, pop it closed, and shake. All right. We've broken up the ice pretty thoroughly in there, and I suspect we've made something of a foam. Yes, this is very luxuriant looking. So let's go ahead and pop over to the bar top cam and see it. Oh, that foam disappeared immediately. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my lime boat in there. Then I'm going to place a sugar cube on the lime boat. There. So there we have it, our flaming sugar cube. Which you can't really see, unfortunately, but you can probably see it starting to toast. And the last ingredient, ginger beer. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that down the side of the glass, mixing that in, that toasted sugar cube. And there it is. Sláinte. You would think with all the stuff going in there, it would be a more complicated drink. Um, this has a lot in common with a good margarita. The gin and rum seem to have created sort of a, I don't know, almost a tequila-y effect, which is really interesting. I did not see that coming. It's got that like potency, it's got the herbaceousness of the gin, it's got the sweet qualities of the rum. It's very limey, very lime forward. Um, the ginger beer is, of course, contributing all of that lovely spiciness that you want out of a ginger beer. And you may not realize it, but toasting a sugar cube, while the sugar itself isn't dissolving a whole lot, that toasting quality does do something. Like there's something about that carbon that I think gets into the cocktail pretty quickly. So there's something of a like toasted marshmallowy back note, I want to say. But yeah, mostly it's really limey, very very citrus, very acid, very you know, like a decent margarita. It's like what you want out of a decent margarita. So the next thing to do in today's show is to decide what kind of adventure this cocktail fits into. And honestly, it's so close to a real world cocktail that it kind of fits in lots of places. I would say if I wanted to make it interesting, I would say that your in-game analog for lime should be a fruit that is super hard to get in a magic society, because one of the challenges, one of the things we talk about a lot on this show is sort of the impact on cocktail culture that globalization has. You know, as you open up trade routes to new places, you find new produce and new things you can distill, and all of that affects cocktail culture, as it does with culture in, you know, capital C. Um, so if you are thinking about a way to make that relevant in a gaming context, you know, a lot of times I talk about, okay, well, this is probably something you drink in a port or in a on a trade route. And not to say that that's wrong or that I was wrong when I said that, but I think that to keep it interesting, I'd like to continue thinking of new scenarios in which that idea can be extrapolated on. And what occurs to me for this cocktail is that maybe in a magic society, if you know there's, you know, we've got magic carpets, we've got flying ships, we've got, you know, all sorts of magical ways of getting from place to place that eliminates some of the need to be on a trade route. You know, I'm assuming this is a high magic society. Uh, so that means that the lime, you know, in this pseudo medieval world has to be rare for a different reason. And it seems to me that the thing that makes the most sense is if lime grows poor, or whatever your lime analog, your green fruit. Um, if green fruit doesn't grow very well in magic fields, and so you have to go somewhere far away from where the, you know, wizard magocracy keeps their cities. um, I don't know, I think that makes a lot of sense that you'd get that opportunity to go on a quest to a place outside of the reach of the magocracy and obtain this green fruit. And in the process, I mean, not only are you supplying your society with a trade good that is hard to get and popular and expensive for that reason, but I think that the reason you would do that in an adventure is to encourage your players to leave the dominant society and experience some fringe group, or to find out that as you leave the magocracy's control, suddenly you realize that maybe you were being mistreated back in the city, or that they've been lying to everybody about the state of the world outside of the Majocracy. You could almost go in like a Matrix direction where you discover that the city is only nice because it's made of illusions. And when you get outside of the city limits and see it from the outside, you can see that everything's actually a shamble. I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of thing that you would want to use this drink in an adventure for, because it is, like I say, it's very similar to real world cocktails. It's not particularly challenging or exciting for the amount of things that went into it. This was a 6 ingredient cocktail, and it tastes like a 3 ingredient cocktail. So maybe that's part of the shtick, right? Is that there's this realization of the greater complexity of the world that our adventurers are living in, and that changes their perspective as they go out looking for what is ultimately not a very important thing. Juliet Hart says the Emerald City is a good example. The green glasses effect, absolutely. Yeah, I like that reference in there as well. And Jelly Gato just says, heck the Majocracy, which, heck them indeed. So, I think that's how I would fit this into an adventure. I think this is an interesting magical cocktail, if not a terribly exciting one. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining me here for the show today. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, all the things YouTubers tell you to do. And until next time, drink adventurously. Heck the Majocracy.